What's up, Bitcoin fam? It's Phantom. Taking a little look at the market. It's April 4th, 2022, 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The market's looking the same. It's still kind of continuing in its chop zone, which we've anticipated. It was a little bit odd that it kind of decoupled from the S&P this morning. The S&P had kind of a sharp increase in a lot of the assets where Bitcoin started tanking at the same time. So that was a little bit off putting, but we have since started to recover a lot of our losses, and we're close to retesting the 47K region again. We're just kind of vibing in this chop zone, which we may continue to do. I was hoping we would be able to push these resistance levels before the Bitcoin conferences start, because I think we may have pullback during those. That said, chop's still healthy. The market accumulating at these ranges is a healthy thing. That's what you want to see, the slow growth for the really bullish market to come, which is what we've all been hoping and waiting for. So I'm still completely on board with this still being bullish momentum, bullish price action, even though we're not doing much right now. I have a couple of cool news articles. One's about Bitcoin outflows, kind of supporting the idea that there may be a lot more upside to come. A news article on Intel and what it's doing with Bitcoin, and Cardano retail wallets are on the rise. They're surging. If you don't have Cardano, I've had it since 2017. I thought it was a great project. It's been great just staking it. I picked a lot of it up between the 6 and 10 cent area. From 2017 on to we started this bull market. I've been slowly accumulating, and I think just in since staking went live, I've accumulated almost 1,000 Cardano just by staking. It's incredible. It can't, no bank can touch the staking rewards that the Cardano pools will offer. So I think it's got great fundamentals. I think it's a great base product, and I got some news that will reflect that, and some excitement hopefully coming to the Cardano space in the short term. So we'll talk about all that. As far as Bitcoin though, I'm still sidelined on making any type of moves into the market just until Bitcoin really decides what it wants to do from here. It's really in chop zone, and chop zone's dangerous trading territory unless you have huge funds where you can scalp small percentages for decent sized gains. With smaller positions, it kind of will eat you up and spit you out for breakfast. So I'm happy, more than happy to sit on my hands, wait for clear price action indicators, such as Sol started to push back up a little bit today, but it has a clear resistance level at the 150 region. So if it can break that and go above it, I'd be buying in a little bit higher, but I'm also buying in on a confirmation that we've broken through resistance and are, have far more upside without much stopping us. So that's how I'm looking at it as of now. Obviously not financial advice, do your own research, but I'm happy to buy in a little bit more expensive on confirmation that we look like we have much more upside to go without pullbacks. So until we start chewing through this resistance zone, unless some type of excitement hits the market, I'll probably be just sidelined from the altcoins. I'll still be watching them, but without huge positions, it's really hard to scalp a few percentage in this chop zone without getting just annihilated. So taking a look at the fear and greed index, we've ticked up from yesterday. We're at 53, which isn't really all that surprising. Crypto Twitter's kind of back and forth between the bullish and bearish outlooks. I think there's a lot of excitement just with the conferences coming up, so I think that's having some to do with the fear and greed index, because it takes a lot of information to spit out this one, this one number. Taking a look at the news articles that I have, Bitcoin exchange outflow is surging. Suggests rally may only be starting. For the past week, the price of Bitcoin has been on an uptrend. This recovery had started on Monday, had raged through the week, seeing the digital asset finally above $47,000 for the first time in 3 months. Speculations have abounded in the space then as to how long the recovery like this can last. As such, investors will look at metrics like exchange inflows and outflows to determine if the investors are buying or selling. For Bitcoin, the numbers have been favorable towards a continuous rally. Looking at the on-chain data shows that the outflows still surpass the inflows by a large margin. Glassnode Alerts posted a report that showed that while the inflows were at $7.9 billion for the past week, there was a total of $9.5 billion worth of Bitcoin leaving centralized exchanges. This came out to a negative flow of $1.5 billion. So it's good news when Bitcoin leaves the exchanges, because that means they're being placed in wallets that they're not liquid, generally speaking. So they're not prepared to hit the sell trigger, right? They're being moved to private wallets, to ledger devices, things like that. So this is bullish behavior. This is a bullish sign. And like I said, there's layered buys from 44K down to 40K. I think there's a lot of big money that's hoping the price goes there, and it may, but they may sit there and wait for that for some time. They may never see it again. It's the Wild West with crypto, but I think that the bull market is coming, but it may be a painful road before we get there. Just because, we moved down a few percentage points and everybody's in fear of, the mega drops that we've seen over the past 2 bull runs. And that's understandable, right? When people have lived through this and lost a lot of their assets, it's completely normal for any type of dip in a day to trigger the events of the past. So, but I think this is strong for the bullish case. Intel is in the news. They unveiled a new Bitcoin mining chip. So why I think this is bullish. Intel inventing a mining chip lets people know that there's obviously a market for this. If Intel's putting enough resources into creating chips specifically for mining of Bitcoin, then there's enough of a market for them to make gains. They're not going to just make a product for the sake of making the product. They're only going to do it if they see it as being a very profitable endeavor. And these chips are very complex. There's a lot of research that goes into this, strategy that goes into. There's a lot of money that gets dumped into these before these chips get created. And they wouldn't put in that work if there wasn't a reward for them. So that lets me know that, the market's really wanting these better CPUs, these mining chips, and that means that there's demand for more people mining, which means more people are getting into the crypto game, obviously. So I see this as extremely bullish news as well. And last but not least, Cardano going mainstream with stellar growth as Snoop Dogg readies to issue a Cardano NFT. Legendary rapper Snoop Dogg turns to the Cardano ecosystem to launch his new NFT collectibles. The rapper will partner with Clay Nation to give fans access to rare pieces and unreleased music. Cardano dApps and NFT space continues to record impressive growth. Snoop Dogg's going all the way in on his crypto journey with the latest move to launch NFT collectibles on Cardano. The choice for Cardano is predicted on the stellar growth recorded by the network in recent months. So Snoop Dogg can bring a lot to the space. Snoop Dogg has tons and tons of followers. He's got, people that really respect him in the industry. He's an end to a large population, right? Of both retail investors, others in the music industry. He's huge and, he's respected and known. And he just was at the Super Bowl, right? Like he's in like Flynn with a lot of these very important people in the music industry. And if this works out well for him, he'll be selling Cardano to them, or selling the product of Cardano to them, and what they could each do, and then they bring a following. So this is huge news for Cardano, and I'm excited for them. I'm super happy for them. They take a beating. The people either love them or hate them, but there's a huge following for both. I tend to be on the loving side. I think Cardano is a great project. I've invested in it early. It's always done well for me. I've never had any issues. I've made great gains. I've held on to my Cardano tightly. I just keep it staked and keep earning interest. And I probably will for an unknown amount of time. I'm very happy with keeping it staked and earning passive rewards. So the NFT space and their network upgrades, it just shows that they put a lot of work into this before releasing. The reason that I think the price is having some issues right now is I think a lot of the Cardano space is selling a lot of the large walls are selling some of their stake. And I think they're moving into Ethereum just for the merge, right? Just for that narrative, until Ethereum moves from proof of work to proof of stake. When that happens, I think there's going to be a sell the news type of event, and I think you're going to see a lot of the money start returning to Cardano. I think proof of stake is going to be great for Ethereum. I have no issues with Ethereum. I own Ethereum. I think it's another great project. That said, I think Cardano learned a lot of lessons from, starting a little bit later in the industry and really taking the time, even though they were getting punished for it all the time, to build the product the right way and do all the peer-to-peer research. They write in Haskell, which gets slammed all the time, but it's high assurance code. That's important. That's really critical. Being a coder for 10 years, having your code being written as high assurance code it's a game changer. So yeah, I think there's nothing but good news coming. I don't know if they are going to rip up, but I think Cardano or Snoop Dogg getting into Cardano and pushing this narrative is incredible for the space, and it's incredible for Cardano. And I couldn't be happier for them. So wrapping up, looks like we're still pushing up towards the 47K area, which we may sit in this uncomfortable range just until the Miami conferences. I am still on the page that I believe that we're going to start testing this resistance zone, and I think we'll get our pullback during the Miami conference. But I've been wrong before. Could be wrong again. That's just my belief. Obviously, do your own research. Only invest what you can afford to lose type of deal. But that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm watching for. So I hope it's helpful. If you wouldn't mind giving a follow or subscribing if you find this information useful, it would be greatly appreciated. I enjoy making the content, but having some followers and subscribers let me know that other people are enjoying it as well. And I'm open to ideas on, any content changes that people like to see, charting altcoins more often, or giving me altcoins to chart. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow, and I'll catch you in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday and an even better Wednesday. Great rest of your Monday, better Tuesday. The time switched on me. It's 12:05 now, so it's now Tuesday. So until then, I want to get some rest, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.